You booked it, episode 210. What's going on, everyone? Thank you for joining me today on You Booked It, the #1 podcast where you learn how to create a successful entertainment career. Have you joined the You Booked It community yet? It is your go-to entertainment career resource. Inside, you'll have direct access to Broadway performers, Emmy nominees, and people just like yourself navigating this industry. Learn from those walking the walk. Build industry relationships, access unlimited masterclasses, and learn how to book the job more consistently. Join free today. Tap the link in the show notes or go to youbookeditpodcast.com/invite to get inside. And now, let's meet today's guest. Okay, let's get this started. Today's guest is very unique and a bit different than what we've had on the show previously, and I am so excited about it, everyone. I believe what our guest is working on will soon become a very real, very professional, and new niche within the entertainment industry. So, without further ado, are you ready for this, Arna?
Yep, I'm ready. Let's go.
Brilliant. Arna is better known for his online handle, Gewenzsko. He is one of the leaders of ORGG Productions, the creators of the first realistic Minecraft recreation of Disney's The Lion King musical. A year ago, ORGG Studios was founded with the goal to recreate virtual theater productions that are as close to the original as possible. Over the past year, their main project, The Lion King, has connected with over 50,000 people, including over 700 YouTube subscribers and 200 members on their Discord community. In addition to his work on this project with ORGG, he is also a lighting designer for the event industry in Germany. Arna, that is a quick intro of who you are and what you've done, but why don't you tell us a little bit more about yourself, fill in the gaps a bit, and a little bit more about what you do in the industry?
Sure. Yeah, as you already said, my name is Arna, online known as Gewenzsko. I'm 21 years old, currently living in Germany. To be precise, I live in the northwest part of Germany. And about a year and a half ago, I think it was pretty much when the whole pandemic started, I was looking for a platform to recreate actual Broadway shows in a virtual way. We had this worldwide lockdown. I think everyone remembers that. And every single theater production, including Lion King, which had run for, I think, over 23 years, if I'm not completely wrong, located all over the world, every single theater production was stopped. And I think we all remember, especially the people working in this industry, remember that moment. So to compensate this, I decided to recreate something in a very special and unique way. I decided to choose some sort of very simple video game called Minecraft, which I was playing since a kid, and started to recreate shows, in particular the famous show Lion King, because I'm just obsessed with the whole production and the whole story. So it improved throughout this whole period, and now that we are actually doing the performances and the performances are actually happening, we are very happy that to give the people or the fans of the show or for the industry the opportunity to experience this extraordinary and unique show in a live way. And as you already said, besides my work in this virtual production, I usually work in the music and event industry here in Germany. As I already said, I'm focusing a lot of in lighting, and I'm just fascinated by the effect of a good and consistent light design. And by that, I don't mean like musicals. I mean every single way, in a play, in a festival, a concert, or maybe just a business event. I think, in my opinion, the light is one of the most important things in the event industry. It's something that people might only realize subconsciously, but it instantly affects people if it's not done well. So yeah, I'm still 21 years old now, and I'm seeing my future in this whole area and this whole spectrum.
Beautiful. Let's dig into this first section here. And Arna, look, I am a sucker for a good quote. What is your favorite quote you'd like to share with everyone?
Yeah, honestly, I needed to think about that quite a while because I'm also not the quote type of guy. And then I realized it was just the most fitting one. It was cliche one. It's actually Hakuna Matata from The Lion King.
Yes.
It's a cliche, but it's just so fitting because I think life is just too short to worry about everything, especially in this pandemic thing. I think the most important thing is to just calm down, keep cool, and everything will be all right at some point.
Yes, so good. Yeah, my wife's father was Polish German, and we grew up in Dortmund. And he had a saying all the time, and I'm going to probably butcher this, but he said, "Abwarten und Tee trinken."
Oh yeah. I think I know that.
Yeah, just sit and drink tea, right? Or wait and drink tea, right? Kind of the idea, just things are getting too much, just to sit back for a second and go, have a cup of tea, and things will get better.
Exactly.
Love that. Well, let's get into this next section here. And Arna, of course, you are an entertainment professional. I'm an entertainment professional. And I think that you'd agree that this industry can be one of the most subjective, brutally honest, and personally emotional industries in existence. And you know as well as I that in order to create and have a successful career in this industry, it takes a lot of dedication and hard work. And while, there's an outrageous amount of fun and fulfillment doing what we do, there are also our fair share of obstacles and challenges and failures we are going to experience and we're going to have to move forward through. So tell us, what is the one key challenge, obstacle, or failure you've experienced in your career to this point, and how did you come out the other side better because of it?
So I think many of my answers are related to this ongoing project. I hope that's okay. So yes, I'm still young. I'm still young, so I don't have too much to report about failures or obstacles in my life. At least none of them would be interesting for the listeners. So I think I concentrate on the project. And I think one of the main challenges of this recreation was one specific, let me call it modification. I'm not getting too technical, but the project is based on the video game called Minecraft. And for those who don't know Minecraft, it's a very simple looking game, a lot of squares, and the graphic is not very realistic. It's hard to recreate the actual Broadway show in there. And one of the biggest obstacles was the set movement. As you might know, musicals, especially Disney shows, usually have a ton of set pieces, a lot of scenery objects that come in and out. And to be honest, the Lion King stage is fairly simple in comparison to a few other shows. But still, we have a lot of curtains coming in. It's part of the game. It's part of the show. And there's no such option in Minecraft. You can't just press a button on your keyboard and then you have the curtain. A smooth movement like you have in a real theater is technically not working in Minecraft. It's very blocky. It's very simple. But on the other side, Minecraft is a game with endless possibilities. I searched for some talented people online. I searched for developers. And let me say, that was, I think, the most frustrating month in this project. I contacted, I think, around 20 different developers from all over the world, asking them to recreate such a modification, such an extension for the game, so to say. And I lost hope at some point because half of the people said they're not capable of creating it. A few more said, you know what, Gewenzsko or Arna, this is just not working. This is not possible to implement. And I spent hours of research. And I think at some point I found a girl or a woman on Fiverr. I think she was from France, actually. And she just replied, yeah, I can do that. Give me a week. A week later, I had the modification. I think this whole process took me 1.5 months. And then in the last week, she just delivered. And to this day, I still have people who ask for this mod because it's so unique. And I think that's a perfect example of my quote, no worries, just calm down, be patient, and it's going to work at some point. And I couldn't be happier with this. And it's part of the game. It's now part of our show. It's a very unique feature.
Yeah, what an interesting thing to think about, because yes, Minecraft, of course, is when it's just its basic kind of bedrock thing, it's very simple, very basic. But I think that's what's so cool about games like Minecraft, games like Roblox, that there's so much user-generated content, and the developers of the game are very open to people creating mods and modifications to the game to do unique things, and that it really does allow you to get the functionality of something and create whatever you could possibly imagine. I think it's so amazing. And you think about, like you said, flies coming in and out. It's one of those things you just take for granted. But when it comes to virtually creating them, you're like, oh, hold on for a second. This is a huge, huge obstacle, and obviously has a huge impact on the entire show, changing scenes and sets, right?
Exactly. Like you don't, when you're in a theater, you just, exactly as you said, you just think, that's just how it is. But there's so much behind it, also in the real theater, but also in this virtual case. There's so much behind the scenes that you can't see. And it took a lot of time, but I think I'm just so happy with it, how it turned out. Yeah.
Yeah. And when he's talking about there's so much that you don't even see, maybe I'll find a way to share a link and stuff, and maybe in the show notes, but of a cross section of the theater you created in Minecraft is mind-boggling. All the different elements. It really is exactly like a full-on theater. It's not just, oh, we just built a stage and that's it. No. There's everything, everyone. It's crazy.
Yeah, especially like you see how small the stage is in comparison to everything else. In comparison to all the tech and to all everything is just below or behind it. And yeah, it's the viewers can only see the stage, and I think it's just very special and unique.
Yeah, and it's amazing to me that even in a virtual production, those kinds of things are still needed and required to put these shows on, and it's very cool. And I will 100%, I'll make sure that we can get a link to the image so people can check that out easily. It's something you really have to see, everybody.
All right, cool. Very cool.
Beautiful. Did you know building industry relationships are the most important assets you need to create a long-lasting entertainment career? And don't take my word for it. Guest after guest here on the podcast have attributed some of their biggest career moments to their relationships. That is why you need to get yourself inside the You Booked It community. You'll learn what you need to do to get noticed, and make sure your headshot stays in the callback pile so you can book the gig more consistently and create a successful career. Tap the link in the show notes or go to youbookeditpodcast.com/invite to get inside free today. And let's move on to a time that I like to call your spotlight moment. That one time you realized, yes, I want to be part of this entertainment industry. Or maybe it was, yes, this is what I need to be doing in this industry. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I think the moment was actually pre-COVID, even though this project was mainly COVID time or pandemic times. I think after watching the show the last time, it was in August 2019, the German production. I wanted to see the show again and again because it's just such a gigantic production. So I needed a different way to watch the show. I'm 21 years old. I can't afford going to there. And again, I just felt obsessed with this whole show. But the tickets for the show are expensive, not just in West End, not just on Broadway, but also in Germany, because it's just such a gigantic production. So I needed a different way to watch the show. You know, I'm 21 years old. I can't afford going to there like every week. The trip is also like 4 hours. So yeah, I needed something to, I don't know, satisfy my desire, so to speak. I don't know. It was like, I started by watching the movies, but I was just not happy with it since I really loved the actual show and the actual music. It's such great music. And I started with the audio. I just put in the songs and movie dialogues together. So I had some sort of yearbook of the musical, self-created. And then I was looking for a platform because I wanted to get the next step. And I had different platforms in mind, different softwares. And in the end, I just started with Minecraft because I just knew this game for so long. And I think it took me just a few hours of experimenting around and building the first stuff when I said, yes, this is it. I will do it in this game. I know it's crazy and it will take probably ages, but that's the moment when I knew, okay, I'm going to recreate one of the most successful musicals in a video game. I tried my best. To be fair, at that point, it was still a fun project. I had no intention of uploading it. The first video came out 3 months later, I think. And from there on, people realized, and I realized that people really like to see the videos, and that was just an ongoing process. And now we're here, basically. That's the story behind it. So,
yeah. And to give a little bit of context, everybody, the live shows just happened. They just did 2 back-to-back live productions of the last couple of days. And this is a thing. It was streamed on Twitch. It's by the time you're listening to this, I'm sure it'll be uploaded to YouTube as well and other places, but it's really something very cool. And I'm curious about when you said, okay, you say, all right, I'm going to start building this thing. It's going to take me ages, right? How did you go about mapping out just the theater and getting the dimensions? Did you have to write it all down draw it all on paper and make the schematics there? Or where do you start with something like that?
I think inside to outside process. I started with the stage. I was like, okay, let's start with the most important thing. I just started in an empty world. I still have a screenshot from just having the plain stage, there's the floor over there. I started with the size of the stage, checked on the wings to see if it looks fitting, and then just continues. I don't know, like an obsession. I just continue with the auditorium, try to recreate it as good as possible. I obviously need to rely on pictures on the internet, which sometimes a little bit weird or not good quality, but I tried my best, continued with the auditorium. It actually, I think the theater itself is not perfectly recreated. By the way, it's the German theater, the German production, which is a very cool theater. It's a very unique building. It's in comparison to all the other theaters worldwide which are shown Lion King. This is a complete yellow tent, a complete yellow tent with a gigantic Lion King sign at its top on the fly tower. And the people cross the river. It's actually located right at the river. They cross the river with actual Lion King ferries that are named by the characters, Rafiki and Nala. And yeah, I started with that, the auditorium. Then I recreated the tent, recreated the fly tower and the backstage building. There's a giant restaurant in front of it. That was, I think, the next step. And so it just went on. It was really just a step-by-step process of just thinking, okay, you know what? I think I built the stage. Let's also build the auditorium. Oh, you know what? I built the auditorium. Let's also build the lobby. And it went on and on. And yeah, that was pretty much, I think, the way I started this whole thing.
Yeah, very cool. Well, let's piggyback on that spotlight question quick, and let's talk about your number one booked it moment. Walk us through that day, what was going on in your life, and what about that moment makes it your favorite booked it moment?
Yeah, I think my booked it moment is not like the classical booked it moment you would probably think of, but it was a very big milestone in this whole project. Yeah, as you can see, I'm focusing a lot on this virtual project. I'm sorry for that, but
No, it's great.
Okay, my booked it moment was actually the time when I uploaded this main video, the main video that you can find if you just search for Minecraft Lion King musical. This moment when people came up to me saying that they were speechless, they had chills, they saw this project and were like, I don't know, they just were amazed. All these compliments felt so good because I've been working on this project for so long. I think you probably know this by yourself. At some point when you work on something very long, you kind of lose track of if it's still good or still interesting for the people.
Yeah.
And for me, working on the project, it was at some point just normal, seeing the opening and all these kind of things every day. And for the viewers, it was just an amazing experience, I guess. I don't want to be so selfish or whatever. It was a crazy experience. So many people were writing comments about their experience with the actual show and how they enjoyed this little reproduction. And actual cast members contact me. Like we're talking about this moment when the video was uploaded, the booked it moment. And cast members, I think one or two from the German cast, and two or three people from the Broadway and West End cast, including one young Simba actor that was actually in our team for a few months. I think after 2 weeks of this project, a German news page that I've been following for years as a kid, they posted an article about this project. I literally saw my name in this article and I was like, damn, okay, we're going somewhere with this thing.
Yeah.
And it still attracts new people. I guess you also found me through this video, through watching the main video. And so yeah, finishing the project, uploading this final product to YouTube. I think it was July 2020. Actually, I know it was the 10th of July 2020. I think this was the milestone or the part where I said, okay, yeah, this is just crazy. How many people see this and how many people enjoy this?
Yeah, I love it. It's so good. And you're right. That's exactly how I found you. For anyone that's listened to a lot of the You Booked It episodes, different people have talked about Roblox or different productions and people doing virtual readings. And I went down the rabbit hole one day and I said, what is this? What's happening in this virtual show world during this pandemic time? And that's how I came across this production of The Lion King and reached out to Arna and everyone over at ORGG and got connected with them on Discord. And one thing leads to another, and here we are now. But it's so cool, I think, to see how much of the world has really just attached themselves to this production. I think it's really fantastic. But let's move on now to talking about the present a bit and what's next. What's in the future? What are you looking forward to? And, we're coming out of this global pandemic. How do you see this virtual landscape and virtual production world developing or moving forward?
Yeah, very good question. I think so. As we speak right now, when we're doing this interview, we're finishing The Lion King. The time this interview occurs, as you already said, we had our two main performances, and we will offer more performances of The Lion King production in the near future. And besides that, we are like a constantly growing community of theater fans who just love to recreate their own shows and stuff. And as you said, even though we all hope that COVID will be over in the near future, we just hope that this pandemic kind of let loose of us. I don't know. And we'll still not stop working on those virtual shows because I think it has such a great potential, especially because you're not limited. You're not limited in time. You're not limited in money or in space. You can build gigantic theaters or very small theaters. You can let your creativity run, or I don't know, freedom run free. I don't know. It's just amazing how many possibilities you have. And we have a few ideas and maybe even plan shows for the future, but we're still in the planning phase, so I don't want to leak them yet. Don't want to put in any false stuff that we might need to reconsider, whatever. But I think people can definitely expect more to come, more content to come from ORGG Productions, ORGG Studios in general in the future. Yeah.
Yeah, very cool. And I also believe that this medium, this idea of taking the virtual reading experience and performance experience to the next level and animating it or programming it in this way, I think there's a huge niche there. And I think it's really about accessibility and creativity coming together because, like you said, you're not really limited by money. It's not very expensive to get the Minecraft game. And then it's kind of whatever you want to do and whatever you want to create from there. So it makes it very accessible for people to be creative and to do the creation part of things and get what you're working on out into the world very fast and get a lot of feedback really fast. And I really think that this is going to be a very serious niche in the entertainment industry moving forward.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, of course, we are all waiting to go back into theaters. Maybe you already did. I don't know how it is in Australia right now. In Germany, I think we're starting back in October with the big shows. And I just can't wait to actually be in the real theater again. But still, I think even though we're slowly but surely coming back in the industry, I'm sure this will keep going on, this virtual productions. People just found their interest in this or discovered their interest in this. And I think it's going to keep growing in the future.
Yeah, for sure. And it is now time to move on to one of my favorite sections in the interview. I call it the Grease Lightning Round. I am going to ask you a handful of questions. I want you to answer them as quickly and concisely as possible, one after another. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's go.
All right, first question. What was the one thing holding you back from committing to a career in this industry?
I think talking about this virtual project, there was actually nothing holding me back, honestly. I did it in my free time during the pandemic, and I think it was the best way to spend the time, actually.
Second question. What is the best piece of advice you have ever received?
I don't know who said it to me. I think multiple people said it in the past, but do what your heart says. It's honestly so much better to just have fun in your life and do what you want to do instead of always staying in your line. Usually I'm studying at the university. I'm still doing that. And I could have just continued my study without this Minecraft project. But I said, why not? Let's do it. And I got to know so many amazing people from all over the world. That's just one of the best things that could have happened during the pandemic time. And I think during my whole life, it's just amazing to be connected to so many people from all over the globe. It's just amazing.
Yes, agreed. And the third question, what is something that is working for you right now? Or if you'd like to go pre-COVID, what was working for you before our industry went on pause?
It's obviously what we're doing right now. I don't think creating virtual shows or Minecraft shows in particular, I don't think it would be that interesting as it is right now if we wouldn't have to wait for the actual industry to come back. I think that's one of the main reasons why we started this.
Great. And the fourth question, what is your best resource, whether that is a book, a movie, a YouTube video, maybe a podcast or piece of technology you've found is helping your career right now?
Yeah, I don't know about the listeners if they know it, but I think Discord, the software or the application Discord is one of the best, some sort of social media and communication platforms out there, even though it's unknown. Because the possibilities in there are just endless. I got so many help from different communities by just clicking one link without logging in or whatever. It's just so many opportunities to help people, to get help in the past, to ask for advices or whatever. And I think I don't want to miss Discord in this whole. I wouldn't probably do it without Discord. Honestly.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Discord's amazing. And that's where I've got the You Booked It community. And I chose to build that on Discord versus, say, a Facebook group or something like that, because what I thought was so interesting about Discord is, of course, while it was originally, or still is, its primary user base is people playing video games and streamers and things like this, more and more businesses are using it and adopting it and finding new, unique ways to use it, because I find you can niche out the conversations. You keep better organization of things a lot better instead of things getting lost in a news feed or something like this. And I think Discord is amazing, and it's free. That's the other great part about it.
Yes. Yeah, you can create your own communities completely for free. That's just something very unique. And I think I 100% agree with your statement. Discord is just an amazing platform that, yeah, people don't know because it's actually focused on video games and stuff like that, but it can be used for so many different other things.
Yeah, for sure. And the fifth question, if you had to start your career from scratch, but you still had all the knowledge and experience you've collected from your career in this industry, what would you do or not do? Would you do anything differently, or would you keep it the same?
I think it's a hard question, especially for someone who just started his life with 21 years, actually gone into the theater industry even earlier, even though I'm still young. I don't really have any connections in the musical or theater industry. And yes, I have some connections in the event industry in general, but I love the technical aspects of a musical production. I love this, some sort of perfect illusion when you sit down and you have this whole perfect, like, it's like a movie. It's like just perfect. It's the whole thing. And I just love this whole thing. And I would have loved to start to work on these projects even earlier. But even though I'm still 21 years old, I think the doors probably are still open. I hope so.
Yeah, I love how you referred to it as a movie and all the things working together and happening, because in my performance career, I started off performing, being on stage and being the talent there. But then as my career went on and I had different opportunities arise, I started seeing the other side of the table and the technical side of the table and stage managing and production and things like this. And it's amazing, I think, when you finally get to see the productions from that 10,000-foot view as a stage manager or something like this, because I would only ever knew my one little perspective being the performer on stage, but to see all the different elements that go into a show and really understand how they all work together is something you can only, I think, really get if you get to that technical side of a production versus being on stage. And it's mind-boggling. That's what really did it for me as far as fulfillment and things like this inside of this industry, is finally seeing that 10,000-foot view of what is happening and how it all connects.
Exactly, yeah. Like you start as a viewer and just see this whole thing as a complete perfect thing. And you maybe start as an actor on stage. You have your own part, you focus on your stuff. Actually, yesterday in the after show party, we actually thought about switching roles in a few scenes so that actors who always played the same role just played a different role. And they were already like, oh my God, I see this whole thing from another perspective. And when you're the stage manager, or like the higher tier in this production, you see the overall, every single department coming together, creating this insane, crazy production, depending on each show. It's just mind-blowing. It's honestly mind-blowing. Even though I'm not in this industry right now, I can think of it already, and it's just mind-blowing. I love it.
Yes, for sure. And the last question, what is the golden nugget knowledge drop you've learned from your career in this industry you'd like to leave with everyone?
I think the most important thing is passion and time. Bring passion and time. This industry is just not about getting jobs and money super easily. It's not just starting this week with your first acting job or whatever. Next week you're in a bigger theater and next year you're on Broadway. You have to bring a lot of time and a lot of passion, be patient, and you need some sort of self-belief that you will last long to last long in the industry. Even though this is from a young virtual perspective, I think you can apply this on every single job in this industry. Passion and time is the most important thing, in my opinion. And yeah, that's my knowledge drop for everyone who's listening right now.
Yes, passion and time. I 100% agree with you. And Arna, it is time to wrap up this interview, which means it is also time for you to give yourself a plug. Where can we find you? How do our listeners connect with you? Is there anything you want to promote?
I think the easiest way to find us is through YouTube. Just type in ORGG Studios or simply search for Minecraft Lion King musical. I think you can even find it just typing Minecraft Lion King. But yeah, it's going to be easy if you just type in Minecraft Lion King musical, and from there you find all the necessary link to Instagram and whatever, the Discord community. And if you're interested in our projects, if you want to see the show either as a video or live, or want to get a glimpse of the backstage of this virtual video game production, or want to start a collaboration, just want to say hi, whatever, the best way is to join the Discord or to send me a private message on the Discord. But to be honest, I also read through every single comment on the YouTube channel. So if you're looking for an easy way to contact me or an easy option to get in contact with ORGG Studios, I think that's the way to go. I will read the comment. Just say you hear from You Booked It, and you want to say hi or want to talk or whatever, and I will read your comment. And yeah, that's probably it.
Beautiful. And for everyone listening out there, I've put the links to all the different resources so you can get in touch with Arna, also known as Gewenzsko in the online world, and also ORGG Studios. And all that information is in the description of this episode, so you can easily connect with them. And also, be sure to share this podcast with your fellow entertainers, coaches, teachers, arts and entertainment educators, and anyone you know aspiring to create a career in the entertainment industry. You Booked It is the #1 resource of expertise on how to actually create a successful entertainment career. It's integral to helping them succeed and helping you create a better, more fulfilling career in this wild and crazy industry. And if you enjoyed this episode, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next one. Arna, thank you so much for being here. I am so glad that we were able to make this interview happen and that we were able to get connected, and I've been able to be a small part of the Lion King production as well.
Of course. Thank you so much for this invitation, and thank you so much for your support, for believing in this little production. It's self-explanatory that someone from the actual industry appreciates such a project or believes in such a project. So yeah, thanks so much for inviting me to this interview. Yeah, it was amazing. It was really cool. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for listening today. If you enjoyed this episode and want more like it, be sure to smash that subscribe button. Also, be sure to join the You Booked It community. Inside, you can connect with your people, build industry relationships, unlock unlimited masterclasses, and access the tools and training you need to create sustainable career momentum. Get your invite link right now. Tap the link in the show notes or head over to youbookeditpodcast.com/invite, and we'll see you there.